Hi, this is Mark Campos with Cue the Mind. I'd like to share with you today a little bit about the subconscious mind, and I'd like to do it from the perspective of the writings of Christian D. Larson. Christian D. Larson wrote a book called The Great Within back around 1910. He was a man that was beyond his time. What he understood is nothing short of amazing. In fact, most of his writings, and he wrote quite a few books, you can find them in circulation today, but you don't find too many people talking about them. And I think one of the reasons why is because they're very deep, very esoteric. And this book, The Great Within, has to do with the subconscious mind. So I'd like to read a little bit and give you a little bit of a running commentary, if I may. The Great Within, Chapter 1. The mind of man is conscious and subconscious, objective and subjective, external and internal. The conscious mind acts, the subconscious reacts. The conscious mind produces the impression, the subconscious produces the expression. The conscious mind determines what is to be done. The subconscious supplies the mental material and the necessary power. The subconscious mind is the great within. I love that. The subconscious mind is the great within, an inner mental world from which all things proceed that appear in the being of man. The conscious mind is the mind of action, and the subconscious mind is the mind of reaction. But every subconscious reaction is invariably the direct result of a corresponding conscious action. Every conscious action produces an impression upon the subconscious, and every subconscious reaction produces an expression in the personality. All right, let's see if we can begin to unpack some of this. Larson starts off by saying that there is what appears to be a dual nature in the mind of man. And that is that there is an outer part of the mind, which is the conscious mind, and then there's the inner aspect, which is the subconscious. Now, I think it's very important, though, to understand that what we are not talking about, what we are not talking about is duality. Because duality is really the source of all our problems. It's the source of all our woes. It's the source of all our sensations of lack and deficiency. Everything can be traced. Every negative sensation, emotion, experience that anyone can experience in life can be traced back to this root cause, and it is duality. Duality is not our friend. Let me put it to you that way. It's the illusion. The reality is singularity. So I think there is a little word of caution here that's necessary, only because even though Larson says that there is what appears to be a dual nature to the mind of man, meaning that there is the outer aspect, which is the conscious mind, and the inner aspect, which is the subconscious mind, that doesn't mean that man lives in duality. When in fact, they're both one and the same. They're just different expressions, but they all come from the same or arise out of the same cause. And I think that's very important to understand. And we'll explain that, or I'll explain that more in detail as we go on with this study. But I think, what we need to understand, what you need to understand and keep in the back burner, is that duality is the problem. Singularity is the reality. Okay? So, what Larson is saying is that the subconscious mind receives an impression from the conscious mind. The conscious mind receives information via the five physical senses. And once the conscious mind receives the information, then it's processed through a system. And this system is really your system of beliefs, what you believe to be true, what you have running in your conscious programming. You believe in a world that is true according to your perception. And you have certain beliefs. And these beliefs form the processes by which all the information that is received from the physical senses is taken in and processed. And then you arrive at certain conclusions. You make certain judgments, you arrive at certain conclusions, and based on those conclusions, you will either say something or do something in line with those conclusions. Now, does that mean that all these conclusions, actions, sayings, words, feelings and so forth, are they correct? No. But they're real. Yes, they're real because you believe that they're real. You've come to the conclusion that this belief system forms your world, your reality, your physical existence. And when you keep thinking upon those thoughts over and over and over again in your conscious mind, which is the outward expression of the mind, those conscious thoughts begin to make impressions upon the inner aspect of the mind or the subconscious mind. It's kind of like this. Picture I don't know if you've ever seen this. I've seen it, I think it was in the Discovery Channel. When a coin is minted, you have this die that's coming down on this blank coin. And before the die strikes the coin is just blank. But as soon as the die strikes the coin receives the impression of the die, the imprint. And that's exactly the way the subconscious mind works. The subconscious mind does not bother itself or concern itself with whether the impression is correct or not, whether it's based on truth or not. It has nothing to do with that. It doesn't seek to validate the impression. All it does is receive the impression because it believes that this is exactly what it is supposed to carry out or how it is supposed to conduct itself. So the conscious mind, unfortunately, the conscious mind is based upon outward information, which is received and processed through and filtered through all these different processes that make up what we call the personality or the ego. And oftentimes that's not based on, more than likely it's not based on truth, but it's based upon programming. Either you programmed yourself or the collective consciousness of others has programmed you. Anyway, so what happens is that as you continue to process all this information coming via the five physical senses, then you arrive at certain conclusions, you make certain judgments, and you believe something to be true. And you keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and as you are thinking about it continuously or over a certain period of time or duration, you are constantly leaving an imprint upon the subconscious mind. After a while, that imprint is so strong that it begins to operate in the back of your mind, in the back of your consciousness. It's basically on autopilot, and this really forms the framework of who you are, or more importantly, who you believe you are. You see, as far as that which holds most people back, that which might be holding you back, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Let me say that again. It's not who you are that's holding you back. It's who you think you're not. You see, you can become anything. You can become anyone. You can literally reinvent yourself. Because that which we say is a manifestation or an expression of our personality, and we have certain personality types and we label them as such, those are just expressions of the subconscious mind. And those expressions can become anything. In other words, you can literally express any type of expression, or you can manifest, I should say, any type of expression you want. And we'll go over that. I'll go over that in time, but before we end this video, let's just go over quickly a few things. There's an inner and outer aspect to mind. The outer aspect is a conscious mind. The inner aspect is a subconscious mind. How does the subconscious mind work? It receives impressions from the conscious mind. The conscious mind receives information via the five physical senses. We already have programming running in our conscious mind based upon things that have happened to us, experiences, repetition, traumatic experiences or things told to us, by people of influence. And all of that has helped to frame and build, the structure and this amazing network of our system of belief. And whatever information comes is processed through that system. And these processes allow us to make certain judgments or determinations, based on our belief system. And then we will, we will have corresponding actions based on that belief system. And the more we believe something, the more that the conscious mind impresses that upon the subconscious mind. After a while, the subconscious mind receives that. It goes into autopilot. We don't even have to think anymore about being who we are. We are who we are because the subconscious mind believes that. Is it necessarily true? No, but it's based on your perception of reality. And we'll continue in the next video.